If you've spent any amount of time on any Starfire feats or respect threads online, then you've seen these pages before.
Put some respect on my name.
Where Starfire has a brief sword fight with this one guy and promptly ends the fight by cutting his hands off. But once you learn why these two are having this fight, then you see this moment for what it really is. One of Starfire's lowest moments, and a rare occasion where our alien warrior hippie princess acted way more like a villain than a hero. The events take place in DC Universe Presents Issue 18, Starfire Unleashed. The issue opens up on this alien planet where these ape-like beings are getting the absolute dog piss beaten out of them by somebody. And the narration does not paint this person in a good light. This was never a pleasant place, but it was peaceful. For a while anyway. Then a champion arrived, as they tend to do. But they were unwanted. Our way of life was no longer stable. Our lives in jeopardy now more than ever before. She promised liberation, she promised devastation. Then we immediately cut to a splash page of the aforementioned champion, Starfire, holding this guy's mouth open so wide she looks like she could rip his jaw right out of place, while a little girl behind her tells her that it looks like he's had enough. The little girl, named Danica, asks Starfire if all those ape guys are dead. Starfire says, more or less, but she does leave one of them alive. And he uses this opportunity to tell Kori what he plans to do with the life he has left. Kori responds by continuing the beating, but the ape man is unmoved. He says she'll never find her freedom, and no matter what she does, she and everyone she loves will remain slaves. And that answer suits Kori just fine, as she finishes him off with a blade thrust under the chin. Danica says this wasn't necessary. They promised not to follow them back to their village, but Starfire knows better. She knows they'll never change. We then get a brief look into Kori's past, and we see more of these ape-like creatures. We see that they're not any old aliens, they're actually Gordanians, the same species that made Kori a slave for the Citadel Empire. And immediately you can see why Kori was so callous with these creatures. She's been dealing with them her entire life, and she knows just how ruthless they can be. She encountered them later on in adulthood as well, and eventually they even recaptured her. But it was done all too easily, and even they knew that this had to be a setup of some kind. Then it's revealed that we're actually not on a planet at all. We're on a spaceship, a slave ship with no name, ran by a group of intergalactic criminals. And eventually, their suspicions prove to be true. When Starfire broke out of solitary confinement, she comes across another slave, a respected figure in their little community named XIII. And that brings us to today. Starfire and XIII don't exactly get along. Not only do their personalities clash, but their whole world views are entirely different. Starfire's never been one who goes along to get along. She's never believed at peace at the cost of freedom. Starfire tries to drill it into XIII's head, as he lectures what I assume is his little sister, warning her not to leave their village. She tells him he has no right to give her orders, that she's free to do whatever she wants. But XIII reminds Starfire that they are enslaved, to which Kori responds, for now. XIII led his people by reinforcing how they need to look out for each other, how their duty to each other is their own, and their slavers will not protect them. But Kori didn't come just for peace. She came looking for a fight. She got herself captured on purpose so that she could liberate these people by any means necessary. But XIII is convinced that all these changes are just gonna damn everyone aboard the ship. And he brings these concerns to a council meeting with other members of the community, who apparently are tired of hearing this old song and dance. But XIII doesn't let up. In his eyes, she's nothing but trouble. They've gone 2 whole generations without losing a single member of the village to any of the slavers or other villages. Keeping their head down has been their way of life. But with her here causing trouble, it's only a matter of time before they're noticed. He sees only one option, to remove her for good, even if he has to be the one to do it. And the next day, that's exactly what he sets out to do. He finds Starfire sitting alone, atop a hill, her blade resting in the ground. XIII brings his blade to the back of Starfire's neck. He's spoken to the elders, and they agree that it's time for her to leave. But she sees right through this deception. She sees this as just another failed attempt to try and get rid of her. And in her eyes, the real reason has nothing to do with the safety of the village. It has everything to do with his bruised ego. He feels belittled and perceives Kori as a threat because she seeks to protect the people, to liberate them, not just get them to see another day like he does. She's better than him. She turns her back to the warrior, assuming that he'll just let all of this go. But her warrior senses get the better of her. She turns around just in time to see his attack coming and block it. Decim is infuriated, so angry that many of his curse words can't even be translated. Everything was fine before Starfire showed up. It's all gone now. But this is evolution, Starfire says. He's clinging to a relic of a society. She's offering him freedom. He says he offers death instead, bringing us to the infamous panel, where with one single swipe of her sword, Starfire disarms him.
I'm sorry. I couldn't resist.
Starfire puts her blade to the back of his neck, allowing him to live, but only if he promises to stay out of her way. And to add insult to injury, she pulls a move right out of the Rock's playbook, telling Decim to know his role and shut his damn mouth. Later that day, Starfire's enjoying a refreshing drink while watching Danica play, but their peaceful afternoon is interrupted by a loud rumbling. Starfire grabs Danica by the hand and runs her to safety. She knows they finally found her. But when the enforcers arrive to claim her soul, she doesn't run. She flies right into battle, charging her famous star bolts. The first blast goes right through a Gordanian, turning his insides into ash. She asks the pilot if this vessel can travel in space. It might, and that's good enough for her. She then relieves the pilot of his duties, in a way that only she can. Another Gordanian asks if she's mad for killing the pilot. Starfire tells him that he's right as she blasts him out of the ship. The villagers all look on, Decim and Danica included. The handless warrior catches his little sister's gaze, assuming suspicion is in her eyes. He says it wasn't him. He didn't call the Gordanians, but she already knows that, because she is the one who called them. We see now that she's been the narrator this whole time, and by calling the authorities, she saved her people. Starfire is incensed as she hears the truth, but Danica is afraid, very afraid. Everyone is. She curls into a ball at her brother's feet, begging to not have her hands cut off like his were. Starfire would never do such a thing, but she doesn't know that. She doesn't trust her anymore. She's seen too much needless bloodshed at Starfire's hands. Decim asks if this thing can fly away from the slave vessel. She says it can, and she's prepared to take the villagers with her. She may even come back with some friends, powerful friends who can liberate all of them. But Decim won't have any of it. They'll save themselves as far as he's concerned. Kori sticks out her hand, offering it to the little girl, but even she tells her no. All she wants her to do is go and never come back. Starfire takes off in the scout ship, to the Gordanians' dismay, and the slaver's boss is even more upset. There will be repercussions, but not for Starfire. This may seem like a totally random focus for a video, but I've been really wanting to talk about this issue for a while now. On one hand, it's a great subversion of the normal role Starfire plays. She's usually the liberator, especially during the New 52, which is when this story takes place. Remember, this is the version of Starfire that overthrew her slavers, took control of her own spaceship, and then held a galactic freedom tour just freeing people on different planets way before she ever stepped foot on Earth. She's usually the unquestioned hero in this scenario. But this time around, her way of life and her clashing with these people actually turns her into a borderline villain, where she's so unwilling to see things from these people's point of view that it brings her in direct conflict with the man who kept these people alive. And sure, you could say that these people needed to be freed even if they couldn't see it, but this is one of the more difficult issues that disenfranchised people face. Can you force freedom on someone? Can you forcefully liberate them? And it shows what happens when Starfire's ideals get the better of her. Not only that, but she was extremely cocky in this issue, in a way that you almost never see her acting. Like, it's borderline character assassination, but since it's a one-shot, I'll let it slide. But even so, I appreciate how this one-shot tackled the very mature subject matter with a level of nuance that is rare. I mean, this may just be the most nuanced take of Starfire wanting to help people since Apartheid No More, which I also did a video on, linked in the description. Last but not least, I do want to highlight how crucial it is for you to actually read this book to get the context. I saw these pages for years taken out of context and just thought Starfire just got in a sword fight with this one random badass alien. And that's what happens when you get swept up in the online fandom way of doing things. Not to say that wiki pages and Reddit threads are completely useless, but in my opinion, they're better used as supplements. Like, you see things that people post there, and then you go to the source and read it for yourself. But those are my thoughts. What do you think? Comment below and let me know, and then click this video right here to get more alien warrior hippie princess in your life. And until next time, keep right on simping.